Hey dudes, welcome back to the mothership. The day has finally come. We're going to start doing the stage 1 upgrade on my Street Bob here. This is going to be a multi-part series. I'm kind of going to do it in installments for you. The first of which is we're going to clean off the bike. We're going to take the passenger pegs off. We're going to take the foot controls off, my highway bar, the stock exhaust, the stock intake, and get everything nice and clean before we begin the next step. This, like I said, is going to be a multi-part video, so if you guys want to see this from the beginning to the end, hit that subscription button, hit a like, drop a comment if you see me doing something stupid or if you want to be involved in the whole discussion. And I'm really excited for you guys to be along on this journey. Before we get started, I picked up a service manual, or reality, Anthony picked up a service manual, but it's a Softail, so it works on all of them. I really recommend you guys get something like this before you start doing your stage 1. It'll give you all of your torque specs, it'll give you diagrams. That way you don't really just screw things up by over-torquing or under-torquing. So we're going to follow all the specs to the letter here, and let's get started, guys. I'm really excited. Okay guys, first thing we're going to do is take off the passenger pegs. We're doing this because there's a bracket that attaches to your frame that also holds up your passenger peg and your exhaust. The new exhaust that I have is a different style, so we're going to have to take it off just to, at least just to put on the new bracket, but let's just get this done. I showed this in a different video, but it's really useful to have these split ring pliers. If you only have needle nose pliers, you can get it off, but this just makes the job a lot easier and a lot cleaner, and you don't have run the risk of destroying the little clip here. So, see, that just popped it off, and now I just gotta pull her off. Oh, of course. Okay, to take off our forward controls, I'm not sure what stock is because I had to replace the bolts to put on my highway pegs. For me, I'm going to be using a 5/16 Allen wrench. Your mileage might vary. I don't remember what the original ones on here were. I think they were still 5/16. But we're going to take these off, which is going to loosen this whole arm right here. Then we're just going to lower it down to get it out of the way so that when I put the exhaust on, there's enough space for me to get in there without scratching anything. I think you might be able to get away with, you know, kind of finagling it in there, but it's really not that difficult. Just take them off. Peace of mind so you don't scratch your new exhaust. All right, guys. So we took a break. We got dinner because Tony's here. Hi, Tony. Everyone say hi to Tony.
Hi, guys. What's up? Mothership!
Tony's here. And originally I didn't plan on taking out the air cooler, the oil-filled air cooler. But to get to the front bolt, or front nut, excuse me, on my exhaust, it really would have been a pain to get in there because it's right up in here. So we're going to take this off. We're just going to loosen it back. Unfortunately, these are held on by Torx bolts that are in kind of a weird size. So we used a 28, I believe. 27, excuse me. So it's kind of a weird size. You might not have to get in if you have like a ratcheting wrench, not like an actual socket wrench, but like an actual wrench that has a racket on there, or ratchet on there. But that's what we did. We're gonna take this off and pull this out, and that way we can get to these screws these nuts very easily. And just we'll take the heat shield off, we'll take the nuts off, take the full exhaust off. Yeah. Now that we've got most of the screws out of the oil cooler, we're just gonna take the heat shield off. It might make it a little bit easier to get onto those nuts that are holding on the actual exhaust. So we're gonna take all the heat shields off, give us a little more space. Okay, we got the heat shield off. Now we're gonna start taking the bracket off that holds the backside of the exhaust on.
You want to save these? Or
It looks like I'm using a 9/16 the majority of it, and then Anthony is using a 3/16 Allen to with a socket to pull this off. We're talking about 2 screws in here. Then we have a nut that needs to come off here, and a nut that needs to come off here.
No, we're not touching this nut.
All right, well, we're just doing this one, and that should allow us to get to this bracket, which actually holds the back of the exhaust on.
And the reason for that, guys, is the same bracket that holds this to the actual bracket that goes on the frame. We don't have access to the screws on this side of it without marring up Ben's swing arm. So the only way to do this is take off this rear muffler, take off the bracket, and pull everything out as one, and then we'll be good. All right, guys, quick update for you. Ben and I are honestly struggling with the front nut on the front header because of the oil cooler. Everyone says on the internet that you can literally just take off the top screw, loosen the bottom ones, and bend it forward. But we're not finding that to be the case. It's just it's a tight spot. Ben's slowly wrenching it off, but it's slowly coming, and you can see what he's using.
Yeah, crescent here.
Unfortunately, everyone on the internet slowly cuts out and skips that whole step because I'm sure they struggled with it as much as we are, but just in full transparency, it is a not fun task. Is this what you want? Is this open so you're drinking?
So as Anthony was alluding to, no shortcuts here on MTV. That was a real pain in the ass. I ended up just using a crescent wrench to try and loosen it up a bit to the point where I could just hand screw it. People say they can get a socket wrench in there. Maybe.
If they have something that we don't have.
Well, they're bending a lot more than I'm really comfortable with those hoses. The manual doesn't say anything about taking this off either, the service manual. So Harley doesn't either, but I'm a little more wary about pulling stuff with oil in it and having a leak everywhere. But we got it off, which means I can get it back on again. So, okay, we got one side off. Let's do the other, and then this exhaust will come off.
So guys, as Ben just alluded to, one of the things you don't want to do when you are installing new exhaust is touch anything with greasy hands.
Or hands at all.
Well, Ben says hands at all, but the reality of the situation is if you do touch your new exhaust with greasy hands or hands at all, make sure you take the time to clean them very, very well before you ever turn your bike on for the first time. Otherwise, your fingerprints and oil and everything will get burnt into the metal. I'm sure this isn't new to most of you, but just a friendly reminder, don't screw up your new, brand new, shiny, either chrome or black or any exhaust because you will be screwed. Hey, it looks better already. The bike without stock exhaust looks like $1,000,000.
All right. So next step, we're gonna take air intake off, give it a nice cleaning because it's dirty, and then ready to move on to step 2. Put new exhaust on, and then new air intake, then tune it, and then see what the performance looks like. Cool.
Dude, this bike is gonna run better just by doing an intake,
dude,
guys.
it comes in from the back.
Get out of here. Yeah, it's wide open in the
So
back.
have you guys ever seen inside of a stock air intake? This is all covered. Look at this box. There's no way air can get in anywhere except for this hot air coming off your engine in the back.
Lovely.
That's what EPA breathe. Give Harley. That's insane to me. Look at this. How are you supposed to breathe?
It's garbage.
That is garbage. Oh my. So to recap, guys, what I did was I just took off basically everything that's attached to the air intake. The only thing that really matters now are these breather bolts. You don't want to screw with these because these are actually going into your engine. We're going to replace everything else with the new system. And I'm pretty sure it is a 7/16. They do have a decent amount of Loctite on them. Look, Harley managed to use Loctite.
And more spiders.
These all came out of the bike. I can see maybe one line on one screw of Loctite. Harley doesn't use Loctite or anti-seize. They use nothing. All right. Well, guys, that's a hardware-less motorcycle. This took us about, I don't know, probably only about an hour and a half max of actual work. And we kind of screwed around a bit. Not bad, but it's basically ready for the next stage. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope you guys, maybe if you're struggling through something, you want to know what's next, watch this video. I'll start listing parts that I'm using down below. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video, guys. Subscribe if you want to see where this goes and if you like this kind of stuff. And ride safe, dudes.